Good morning, and welcome to episode 66 of Getting Rich. I'm your host, Rich Checkan, president of Asset Strategies International, and today is Wednesday, March 2nd, 2022. Over the past week, there's been one thing and one thing only on everyone's collective mind, and that's war in Europe. Thanks to Vladimir Putin, we have, for the first time in 80 years, a land war in Europe. And I got to tell you, nobody except Vladimir Putin thinks this is a good idea. We hope that cooler heads prevail in the long term, but we'll have to watch as the situation develops. Right now, both sides continue to increase tensions and increase threats and escalate the situation. And that is not a good idea, folks, when nuclear weapons are at the end of that line of escalation. Our hearts and our prayers go out to those in Ukraine. We wish only the best for you going forward. Back here on the home front, the stock markets are very volatile. We're seeing them move up and down in big tranches, 500, 600 points on the Dow at a time, 1.5% on the NASDAQ and the S&P at a time. So we're seeing a lot of volatility. The overall trend is downward in these unsettling times. For the precious metals, gold, silver, and palladium are all flourishing in this environment. You can understand why gold and silver would be moving up as a move to safe havens. And you could also understand why palladium is moving up, since Russia is the #1 supplier of palladium to the world. So you got to think that the events in Europe are having an impact. Let's take a look at the numbers week on week. So today, gold is trading at $1,939.80 per ounce from 1907 last week. That's a 1.7% increase in gold. Silver is up 3.7% to $25.32 an ounce from $24.42 last week. Platinum is the only loser this week. It's down 2.8% to $1,067 an ounce from $1,098. And palladium, as you would expect, the big winner, if you will, it's up 7% to $2,682 an ounce from $2,506 last week. With silver outpacing gold to the upside, we see the gold-silver ratio dropping to 76.88 from 78.37, moving further away fairly quickly, I might add, from that 80 mark, but a long way to go before we see a reversal in this bull market in metals. And the dollar is up to 97.39 from 96.01, and that kind of highlights something here. We're seeing in these unsettling times where we have major international geopolitical crisis, you're seeing a rare phenomenon where gold and the US dollar are both moving up in tandem. That's not normal. Typically, you'll see gold do well when the dollar is lacking, or when investors are lacking confidence in the dollar, and vice versa. You'll see the dollar rise and gold retreat when that confidence in the dollar is restored. Right now, because of a flow to safe havens, of which gold and the dollar are both safe havens internationally, you're seeing both of them move higher. Now that's okay. It can happen in the short term. In the longer term, you would expect gold to move much higher from where it is. The short-term movements due to war are not something to be reacted to, panicked about. The longer-term threat is really what matters, and that's the threat of inflation triggered by debt and overprinting of the money supply. So gold's longer term is much, much stronger because the threat to your wealth is much, much stronger. And it's not about war, it's about inflation, it's about mismanaged currencies, it's about an incredibly expanded money supply, it's about a debt that can never be repaid. That's why you need gold. That's why you need silver. As always, go ahead and like us and subscribe to us here on the YouTube channel. Follow us on the social media platforms for ASI. Send us your comments and questions so we can go ahead and respond to them on the air. And please, don't ever forget that getting rich starts with keeping what's yours.